Many thanks for staying tuned. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. The state of the Nigerian nation at the moment is one that is characterized with various issues, ranging from rising inflation to security issues, particularly now at the moment Nigerians dealing with the rising cost of living as well as battling with issues surrounding the pricing of petroleum products. Now, on the program today, we would like to take a look at some of these issues. And I know that oftentimes we've been preferring solutions, but the question to ask is, are the leaders listening to the people well enough to run with the solutions? We have a senior colleague in the House as a journalist as well as a columnist, Bola Bolawole. Thank you for being here on the program.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Mr. Bolawole, let's start on the fuel issues, because I know that at the moment there's really no one that issue is not biting as we speak. And we had thought that the onset of the Dangote refinery would actually bring a lot of reprieve to Nigerians. But at the moment, it seems that it's even compounding our issues. And only yesterday did independent marketers say that it appears that Aliko Dangote is just out to, again, monopolize that sector and ensure that is the only one, doing business in that sector. But for you, as one who's been watching what's going on in the system and looking at how the fact that issues around fuel is seen as an international business, but as it is at the moment, what says Dow about the body language of this man, Aliko Dangote, and the business of oil and gas in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Aliko Dangote didn't hide anything from us. Right from day one, we knew that a monopolist will always be a monopolist. A businessman who wants to be the richest in the whole world, who is the richest in Africa, the richest in Nigeria, will always maximize profit. If you give him an opportunity, he will exploit it to the hilt. He took over sugar. What became of sugar? Did the price come down? He took over cement. What happened? Did the price come down? So when he ventured into this refinery, we knew that the price of fuel will not go down. It will instead go up. What monopolies, some people who were with him in the sugar business, as a journalist, we spoke to a lot of people. I spoke to a lot of people, and they told us his tactics. He will first of all drive you away, drive competitors away, use price war to damage them, use his contacts in the banks to damage them, make sure that banks that give loans to those people, that he cuts them off from his businesses and things like that, and then you have to come back to beg. So once he has monopolized the business, he begins to jack up prices. We saw the price war between him and BOA. And we saw that those ones actually wanted to bring down
the price.
And they did crash it. But what happened? Some people, I don't want to mention them, some people now used some methods to buy from BOA, not allowing it to get down to the grassroots. They mop up what he had in stock. BOA had, what he thought he was selling to the public. They mop it up, put it in their warehouse from circulation, and then sold it as their own. So BOA now saw that the price that he was giving, the margin that he was giving to the public was not getting to the public.
Right.
So he was losing on both ends. He was not getting the money.
And then he was not getting to
the public. So he too had no choice but
to increase the price.
Yes. So that is what we are seeing that is happening in this price war. There's price war already now in this refinery of it between now between Dangote
NNPCL,
and NPC,
the
and then the
marketers,
independent marketers.
right.
You see, now we made investigations, as journalists, we make investigations, and some people, many of the people said, look, he drove us out of cement. He drove us out of sugar. He drove us out of a lot of
Now
things.
he wants to
drive us out. We will not allow it. So they are going to do everything possible to frustrate him, even as he's doing everything possible to monopolize the market, to blackmail everyone. He succeeded in blackmailing the presidency, and the presidency decided
to just
kowtow to him and then allowed him to be buying
in Naira.
Now, when you buy in Naira, why are you selling at this price when you are buying in Naira? You know, so I think the issue really is but for the independent marketers, we will have played 100% to his hands. It's only the independent marketers that are saying, no, we will continue to import. He tried to prevent the federal government from, he asked the federal government to cancel all licenses. Those ones said, no, how can you cancel all licenses?
It's a free market after all.
Yes, because now the people who are into that business, what becomes of them? I know people who crashed, who died when he was given the monopoly to import cements. People who were in that business crashed. So now it's not going to happen this time around. Because those people also have some weight with the government. These people also, they have seen his hands, they have seen the way he operates. Those people are going to fight him to the hilt. So we are not going to have a situation where the Dangote refinery is going to monopolize the market. It's not going to be possible. Okay. It's not going to be in our interest at all.
My own attention this morning on the State of the Nation is what we have tagged Abiku on this program, which is the national greed. It collapsed again for the 10th time. And for a country that is trying to promote industrialization and trying to attract foreign investors into the country, it's appearing like this administration is helpless, because recently Mr. President reshuffled his cabinet, and I would have expected that, okay, for a minister who could not perform within a year plus, why are you still keeping the man there? This collapse of the national grid, does it appear like this administration is helpless?
You see, I also thought like that. When I wrote, I said that the Minister of Power ought to have been one of the ministers to be reshuffled, to be asked to go and take a bow and go and take a rest. But the people in government, they have more information than those of us outside of it. They may be aware that this minister is actually performing, but there are factors beyond his control. Imagine when the late Shiv Bola Ige was made Minister of Power under President Olusegun Obasanjo. He said within 6 months.
He will fix power.
He will fix power. But he spent how many years? And he had to be removed. He had to be taken to familiar grounds. Why? Because people sabotaged him. We did the investigation and we found out that they kept telling him there were no spare parts until the day he stumbled on a massive warehouse where spare parts were stocked and they were not used. And he was not allowed to know that there were spare parts there. And somebody said, Obasanjo was furious. You are a minister here, and you don't even know that this kind of thing is happening on your nose. But how will you know when the civil servants there, when the cartel there, decided not to allow you to know? So what is happening in the power sector is more than the competency of the minister. There must be a cartel there that is trying to frustrate every effort to make sure that we have power. We have the cartel, the cabal that is in charge of importation of generators. They will not want us to have power. We have the cartel that is making this country dry with all this money that is being pumped into power. $6 billion, where is it? So trillion naira, where is it? We can't see the evidence. The moment you solve that problem, that money will no longer be coming. So just like insecurity has become the pot of soup for some people, so this power problem is also the pot of soup for some people. The same way the CBN Forex, the exchange rate they were having before, where you give some people concessionary exchange rate, became the pot of soup for some people. So you have cabals in various sectors of the Nigerian economy that regard this as their territory, and they are doing whatever they like there, and they are making sure that things don't work. I think it is how to break those cabals that the president must work on better. How he will have to put away this friendship or class
Or political considerations.
and actually break them. For it, we have been saying that he has to do that. He has to commit class suicide. He has to close his eyes to members of his own social and political class. Even family affinities will have to go for him to be able to march on, not step on toes, march on toes and make sure that he brings all these people under control. I think that is the problem. It's not as if some ministers are not performing. It's because the factors that they are confronted with.
They're quite overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. And that was why the president, right from day one, said fuel subsidy is gone. And you ask, if he had not done it that first day, he would not have been able to do it. Because power, okay, see, they wanted to reduce cost of governance. They wanted efficiency. They said, let us move some departments of government, agencies, back to Lagos, where they will function properly. See the outcry.
It was politicized.
Nobody was interested in the fact that this is an economic decision. This is a decision that is okay, but they are just
witch hunting against
political, just their political consideration. Okay, see now tax reforms that you want a situation where people will now be motivated to generate more IGR. Not that we just sit, some other people are generating.
And you be sharing
see the outcry again now.
Right, it's targeted as
see the issue of kid protesters that were taken to
minors.
court. See the outcry. A minor can demonstrate.
Yes,
he can burn buildings. He can slit the throats of people. He can kill people. Yet he cannot be brought to book. And it is the same youth of yesterday that we did not control that became the Boko Haram and the bandits of today. And these ones that you are letting loose now, what happens the next time again now? Impunity. They will do worse. And the so-called civil society organizations, so-called SCNs, lawyers, they will rise up again in defense. So they will do more. And we won't be able to control anything. That's the problem we have in this country.
Mr. Bolawole, you've talked about, and so what you said now would dovetail to the fact that there must be consequences.
There must be consequences for bad behavior.
If people are badly behaved and people do wrong things, people must be punished, because it looks like we do things the same way over and over again, we're so used to the facts that you cannot get punished. Okay, you've laid that fact. My next observation will be, only yesterday did we see one of the newest ministers, Dr. Tunji Alausa, being moved to the Education Ministry, and he again upturned a policy that was made by his predecessor. But again, this policy is one that we've known for years. It's more or less like the 6334 policy, where you spend 6 years in primary school, 3 years in junior, 3 years in senior, and then you spend 4 years in university. But age now became a problem, where Tahir Mamman said you must be 18 years before you can proceed to the university. Now Tunji Alausa is saying that doesn't necessarily need to be. And we laid a foundation here this morning talking about policy somersaults. How is it that we're able to make our policies stand the test of time and not continue to allow policies be made on a first-come, first-served basis, where individuals make policies, and when another person gets there, you upturn in favor of what you believe in? So how do we deal with this situation?
Thank you, my sister. I was at the JAMB policy meeting in Abuja earlier in the year when Tahir spoke on this policy. And quite clearly, it is not a new policy. It has always been the policy. When you and I were going to primary school, it was a policy. You do your hand like this.
Yes, or like 30.
Before you can get. The first time my grandmother took me, I failed. I cried back home. For the second year, I passed.
You had gone a bit taller.
Yes. You see, by this, they mean that's their own way of saying that you're already 6 years.
Right.
So by the time you start calculating, you discover that by the time you are going to leave secondary school, you are already that 18. From secondary school, I didn't get I didn't go to the secondary school that my father wanted me to go to from primary school, and not went to modern school. I spent 2 years in modern school. We don't have modern schools again now.
Right.
After modern schools, I went to secondary school. From secondary school, I went to HSC A level. I did A levels. Okay. Now, By the time I finished doing that, before I did the first JAMB in 1978, and I got admission, I was already 19.
Right. So you had made up
Yes.
all of those years.
Yes, but all those stop gaps now are no longer there. Now, that is one. Number two is that in those days, you wouldn't jump classes.
Yes,
Primary
no
1,
double
2,
promotion.
3, 4, 5, no double promotion. Now we have double promotion. When my children were in secondary school, so one day I just saw their report sheet, and my second son was to be given double promotion from primary 4 to primary 6. And I said, no, you can't go to primary 6. Told my wife went to meet the headmistress because many of his classmates, they had written the
And they had common
exam,
entrance,
common
and they had
entrance,
passed.
So they didn't have enough people who will go
Stay in that class.
in primary 5. So they have to move
Promote all
into
of
primary
them.
6. He was to join his elder brother in primary 6 because I didn't allow that one common entrance in primary 5. And I said, no, you can't join your elder brother in primary 6. It will lead to
Sibling
problems,
rivalry.
yes. So I had to start looking for school for that, his senior brother, so that he will not do primary 6. So from primary 5, now fortunately Faith Academy was still doing the exam. So he wrote Faith Academy and passed. So he jumped primary 5. So from he jumped primary 6. So primary 5, he went to secondary school.
GS1.
Yes. His younger brother from primary 4 went to primary 6. You see, that's something is very common now, prevalent now. We have to discourage it. So we have a situation where our children become adults when they are still children. So parents must know that they have to discourage it. Because where are you rushing these children to? Many of them, they get to the university, but the university does not even go through them because they are too young. So that is one of the problems that we have. Now, when a child now graduates from secondary school at age 15, at age 14, and these children are very brilliant. You must give it to them. So when they write JAMB, they will pass. And of course, you can pass JAMB exam without being very bright, because it's just the objectives now. You can pass it. Anybody can pass it. Now, when they pass now, and you now say that they cannot get admission, where will they be? Where will they go to? Somebody wrote at the age 16. And now say they cannot get admission until it's 18. So in the interval, you did not create structures that will
plug them in those.
That's what we're telling them. Create the structures. Bring back the structures that will slow down the pace at which these children are moving. Let's have something where they can go into. Yes. Okay, you have left secondary school at 16. Go for A-levels. Go and do 2 years. Get your A-levels, and then you enter with direct. By that time, you're already 18. They didn't do that. I think that is a problem they have with this policy. It's not as if the policy has always been there. And then there is also this issue of getting employment. Now the banks...
This is age bracket.
Age bracket.
20 something, yes. 23.
And you must have experience.
How will you have the experience?
At what age now? You must leave the university at 18 or at 19, maximum at 20, for you to be able to qualify. So that is the problem. So all these issues have to be addressed. It is when you have addressed all these issues that you can now say, okay, the policy has been there from the time we were born. Policy has been there. That policy, we now want to implement it. And if you want to implement that policy, it cannot be overnight. Some people are already in the system that if you decide to implement it like they have decided to, you will disrupt their life, disrupt their family, disrupt everything. So you must give it time. Maybe in the next 4 years, in the next 5 years.
So there's a timeline and you work towards it.
Yes, that you work, both government and parents will work towards it. And the students themselves, everybody will work towards it. But the way they just slammed it on the table, I think that is what caused the problem. Now that they are saying that they have relaxed it, now the age 18-year
is not 16.
Is not obtainable. The reason why they said that now is because they know that they cannot even enforce it. Because right there at the JAMB policy meeting where the minister made the pronouncement, the vice chancellors, the provost, the rector said, no, I was there. They said, no. For about 5-10 minutes, the whole place became rancorous. Order could not be restored. Until Oloye did the JAMB minister started shouting, the minister is here, everybody came. They raised the question again. Everybody said no again.
Okay.
Because many of the people who are gaining admissions today are in that bracket that you are trying to disqualify.
Right.
Where will the institutions
would
get
they be? The
candidates?
students.
Where will they get students?
Okay.
That's the problem.
I also like you to speak to the state of the economy, the high rate of inflation and the cost of living in Nigeria and some of the policies of this administration. We've been told time in, time out that these are good policies, and of course it's going to take time for us to begin to feel the impact. But out there, Nigerians are suffering. How do we create a balance?
My brother, it will take years to create a balance, because it took the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, 8 years to ruin the economy, to bring it to this level, where we were spending 97% of our income to service debt. 97%. We're leveling with 3%. What will you do with 3%? You want salaries. Sir, if you spend 97% of your salary to service debts, can 3% that
Take
remains,
care of the
can it
rest.
take care of you, no matter what you are earning? That is the problem that we had. And when this economy was being bastardized, when people were just looting the economy right, left, and center, some of us cried, but people kept quiet. Nigerians always think that it doesn't concern them. It concerns you because you are going to bear the brunt. Nigerians always think that, oh, we can cut corners. Fire brigade approach, since a new government will get there and it will solve the problem. A new government has gotten there, but it cannot solve the problem overnight. What has been destroyed in 8 years will take 16 years to be repaired. That is the problem. And they are trying. This government, in fairness to them, they are trying. From the records that what I read overnight, now the percentage we spent servicing debts has reduced from 97 to 65.
65.
Under 2 years, they have tried. We should clap for them.
Yeah, but Nigerians are hungry. They're not feeling it.
Nigerians are still hungry.
It will take time for them to feel, because there are various other sectors that they have to re-engineer.
Okay.
Now, the question of foodstuff prices.
Right.
Unless you are able to get farmers to go back to the
to the
farm,
farm.
there's nothing you can do about it.
Security is still a big
Yes,
issue.
if you say you want to import foodstuffs, you need money to import. Where is the money? When you are spending 97% to service debts, where will you get the money to import food? So there are other sectors of the economy, like the exchange rate. What are they going to do about the exchange rate? You cannot do anything about the exchange rate unless you are able to make more dollars. The government must be able to make more dollars. How can the government make more dollars? The government must sell more crude oil. How can the government sell more crude oil? The government must reduce the rate of crude oil theft. The government must bring back the oil companies that have relocated from Nigeria. So we must begin to produce more crude, sell more crude,
And
and
earn
more
more
forex, so that we can now have more money to do a lot of other things. But all those ones are not there. When Buhari was leaving, our oil production had dropped to under 1 million barrels per day. Now they have brought it up to about 1.4, 1.6 now. So they are trying. But before you can begin to see the impact, it will take some time.
Okay.
This is a country that was producing 2.4 million barrels per day. Now, see what we are producing. And in addition, our population keeps soaring.
So, Mr. Abolawale, before we allow you go this morning, let's quickly speak to the governors. Many have said there's a lot of concentration at the federal level, and everybody keeps saying the president. We must begin to hold our governors more accountable for governance at the state level. What's your opinion about that? And if the citizenry should hold the governors more accountable, what are the ways by which we can begin to hold the governors more accountable for issues around governance?
Thank you very much. The governors should help the president, because the president is helping them.
Pampering them.
No, helping. Let me not say pampering. He's helping them because he's giving them more money. Many of them are earning twice. Some of them even thrice what they were earning before.
And yet it's not getting to the states.
It should get to the grassroots. The people must begin to feel the impact. What are you doing with this money that you are earning? Let the people see the impact. The governors should be able to go into food production. The president has told them, please go into
Mechanized
farming. He has told them. He has even given them incentives. So why are we not seeing efforts in that regard? The president, when he said, oh, the problem is insecurity, the president said, okay, if it is insecurity, use forest rangers. You don't have to wait. And we told them, some of us told them, I've told them at two of the governors that, sir, forest rangers, the laws are there because Femi Falana, SCN, told me, and he sent the law to me. And I realized, we don't need to be shouting about Amotekun. They are not allowed Amotekun to carry weapons. Forest rangers are there. The law allows them to bear arms. Right. Why don't you use the forest rangers? Fortunately, now 2 state governors have gone that way now. I wrote about the governor of Oyo State, Imakinde. And then the CPS to the governor of Ekiti came and said, Augasta, no, we was not the first, we were the first, we have done it. So Ekiti too said they have done it. They have forest rangers. We must go back to the land. Because agriculture is the mainstay of our economy. Unless we go back there, we won't be able to produce enough food for our people, and we won't even be able to produce enough cash crops to make dollars. In those days, it was agriculture that Awolowo used to do all the things that he did: free education, cocoa house, NTA television. It was cocoa, it was agric money. And the groundnut pyramids in the north, where are they? They have disappeared. Palm oil that used to be the mainstay of the economy of the East, Malaysia came here to get their seedlings from us. Now we are importing palm oil from Malaysia. Where are all these things gone?
Isn't that enough reason for us to also embrace this new tax reform bill?
The same reason. You see, now tax reform bill says that work and eat. The more tax you are able to generate, the more you get. It's like something that my church did. They wanted us to raise money. And everybody was against it. No, we cannot go to our people and tell them to do this, do that. Then our pastor, the professional pastor, came with a novel idea. Okay, if you raise, whatever you raise, 100% of whatever you raise, the parishes take 40%. Oh, we all
incentive.
Incentive. And we came and went. So they took 60%, we took 40%.
Oh, wow.
Fair enough. You see, that is what the government is trying to do with tax reform. Make more money, generate more funds, and take more. But those who do not want to generate, who only wants to just come to the center and share what others have generated, they are the ones making this noise. And they are the same people who will come tomorrow and say government is not performing. And they are the state governors who are supposed to key into the vision of the president. They are the ones that are even marshalling, they are the ones that are in the forefront of those who are opposed to all these novel ideas. I don't think it adopts.
All right, we'll have to leave this conversation here this morning. But before we allow you, I know you've talked about the Minister for the Economy, but then we were supposed to have done that column this morning by Lekon Shote, who also did say that the Minister for the coordinating Minister for the Economy needs to do more in terms of fiscal policies. What would you advise that the Minister and all those in the sector concentrate on, especially at ensuring that the inflation rate drops minimally?
For the inflation rate to drop, we must be able to generate enough forex.
Okay, it still goes back to what you said earlier.
Everything in Nigeria depends on forex.
Okay.
Is this not imported?
Probably.
Probably, yeah. Is this not imported, Mike?
It is.
Virtually everything is imported.
So we have to go back to producing.
We have to go back to producing. The economy is not producing. We are just consuming. It's a consumer economy. So everything, and then the pressure on the dollar is high.
Right.
So for as long as the pressure on the dollar is high and we are not making enough dollars, then there will be scarcity of dollars. And when there is scarcity of dollars, there will be increase in the cost of whatever you import. It's a question of demand and supply. So the supply level of dollars is still very low.
Right.
So it is going to still have this problem of, for example, now you say that even in the official forex market, the dollar the naira is falling. Not even in the parallel
Parallel
market.
markets.
Even in the official, it is falling. 1,600 and something, 676,000 at the official market. So at the parallel market, it will be more than that.
Right.
Because we don't have enough. During the time of Emefiele, they were borrowing to sustain the naira. Now this government is not doing so. They are floating the naira. It means that cost of goods and services will continue to go
rise
up until the naira is strong enough
to battle the
and your
dollar.
currency is only strong at per the level of your production, your productivity.
We'll have to leave it here this morning, but bulk of what Bola Bolawale has said today is the government is a bit on the right track, and we need time to see all of these things. Thank you so much for finding time to be here on the program today.
It's my pleasure.
We appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a quick break. When the conversation returns, it'll be turn of Lagos again to take us through their conversation today.